Ride Home with John and Kathy, live from the Salem-Pittsburgh studios. And now here are your hosts, John Hall and Kathy Emmons.
Well, good afternoon. Welcome. Happy to be with you on a Friday afternoon. Very nice Friday afternoon. And boy, it's spring-like out there.
It's like 60 degrees when I came into work.
Very nice. And dude, beautiful. Just beautiful.
And Sunday morning, 8.
8. All right. I'll take this.
Sorry, is it sad that I brought you that news?
No, I'm fine. You know, I like
I'm just trying to be honest.
I like a single-digit day. It just feels good. Just saying.
It
feels good.
See, it can't feel good.
I think it does.
Okay.
How can you refute that? It feels good to me.
Clearly, I can't because I'm not convincing you after all this
Right.
time.
I mean, you know, I don't know. I mean, I'll talk about this later on in the show about Emily in our town.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of
We're going to do an
same
Our Town segment?
Well,
in the Friday edition?
You play Emily.
Yeah.
I'll play George.
Okay.
Christy can be the stage manager.
That's perfect.
Sounds great. Very excited for this role.
Yeah. She's been preparing for it for so long.
Very nice. Here we are in Grover's Corners, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the Ride Home edition. Kath, good to see you. What's going on for the Friday? Hey, hold on. 5 minutes past 4 o'clock.
Is it too early?
Never.
Or is it too late for me to tell you?
Right on time.
Your weekend has begun.
Yes, it is. The aforementioned 5 minutes past 4 o'clock on a lovely Friday afternoon. Truly, at least in this corner of the world, all is right and well.
It sure is. The Ride Home streaming live on YouTube at The Word Pittsburgh. So if you want to log on and say hi, you can do that.
Very nice.
And John's wearing his show shirt.
That's my. The offices have been so hot.
And since it's black, since the walls in this room are black and you're wearing a black shirt, you might look like you're just a head and neck.
I'm just a floating
and a pair of hands.
I'm a little floating head.
Maybe.
But it's radio, so it really doesn't really matter that much, does it?
It doesn't matter.
Anyway, a busy news day indeed.
Yeah, there's a lot going. It's going to be a terrific show, to be honest with you. I'm not sure how we're going to get it all in.
Okay, we will. So let's kick off then with the news of the day. Please, without further ado, Kath, give us a top 4 at 4.
All right, for Friday, February 11th, 2022, I'm going to begin with number 1, okay?
Number 1. Johnny, number 1.
Canadian authorities today turned up the legal and public pressure on protesters to get their blockades out of Ottawa.
Coming soon to a city near us.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said this unlawful activity has to end, and it will. Federal, provincial, and local officials moved simultaneously on different fronts to try to break the so-called Freedom Convoy standoff, which began with truckers and others angry over Canada's COVID-19 restrictions and has morphed, though, into a broader outpouring of fury from the right toward Trudeau and his Liberal government. We heard you, said Justin Trudeau. It's time to go home now.
All right.
But if he heard them, then I'm not sure. You know, they don't
anywhere.
Well, they don't think they've been heard.
No.
That was from ABC News. Number 2, John. It turns out that stars like our sun may not have to be alive and thriving to sustain life.
What does even that mean?
Scientists say they have discovered a possible major planet orbiting a dying sun that could potentially support life for generations to come. How about that?
So we get there.
There's a place to go. There's a place to go. CBS News reports that researchers from University College London made the unexpected discovery while observing a white dwarf, which is not a glowing star. It's the glowing remains of a star that ran out of its hydrogen fuel. It does sound like
Tesla.
It sounds like something we should be concerned about and not excited over. Anyway.
Can you imagine living on that planet and every day you kind of go, oh no, then now we're down a few more degrees.
Right. It's like getting dimmer.
I don't know.
It's like living in Pittsburgh in September. Every day gets a little worse. Anyway, this particular star has a ring of planetary debris in its orbital habitable zone, otherwise known as the Goldilocks zone. You remember Hugh Ross talked about the Goldilocks zone, where temperatures should, in theory, allow the planet to have liquid water on its surface.
Very nice.
Number 3. 86-year-old Jim Lipscomb is a die-hard Cincinnati Bengals fan. He's had season tickets, written letters to the team, proudly chants that Who Dey thing, which I find annoying, but it's Jim Lipscomb and he's 86, and so I'm good with it. Anyway, last week he cried tears of joy when the Bengals made it to the Super Bowl, and his granddaughter had a video of it that she put up on Facebook. It went crazy.
While he was crying.
Yes, because he was so excited. So Lizzie created a GoFundMe to help raise money to try to send Grandpa to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And she has raised more than $42,000. So Jim Lipscomb, 86 years old, is going to the game with his daughter, his son-in-law, and his granddaughter.
Wow.
And he's being known as Cincinnati's grandpa. Lizzie, the granddaughter, said, "I was blown away at the response. People on social media, all the nice words they had to say, really restored my faith in humanity that there is still good out there." And now Grandpa's crying again. When asked what made him emotional, Lipscomb said the number of people that have donated from different countries, it's just mind-boggling to me.
That is so cool.
Isn't it wonderful?
Right there's the internet. That's the bright side of it.
And Lizzie said, "I think a lot of people I've heard from, their loved ones passed away, and even though we can't physically take them with us, they feel like I'm taking the spirit of all grandpas and all loved ones who would love to go to the Super Bowl."
The spirit of all grandpas.
Isn't that sweet?
Very nice.
I love it. And number 4, TJ Watt was named NFL Defensive Player of the Year.
Very good.
And that's your top 4 at 4.
Outstanding.
You know, he got 40 out of 46 votes.
40 out of 46. Very good.
Yep. Aaron Donald got 4, I think. And then that rookie, I can't think of his name, got 2.
Well deserved, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, people are still kind of like thinking, oh, it might not happen.
I know.
Right?
Well,
you never know because it's voting. So
for sure happened. And Aaron Rodgers, Christy's favorite, is MVP again this year. Second year in a row.
Really? MVP again?
Again.
Yep.
No kidding.
But he can't pull it off in the playoffs, can he, Christy?
No, he can't.
Listen, I'm not like that devoted of a fan.
Plus, his hair, that's just bad.
Does he have a man bun?
He has had a man bun.
I was on the elevator today with a guy with a man bun.
How did it look?
Like a man bun.
Okay.
But I can't criticize anybody because I got nothing on top. So I mean, I'm like, if you check us out on live video right now, I get a little wisp of hair blowing in the wind.
Yeah, we have a fan on in here because it's 100 degrees and you can watch, John's hair
Yeah.
go. back
Right now,
and
I'd kill for a man bun.
That's really
Or
sweet.
just a bun.
When we return, looking ahead to your garden in spring, our good friend Doug Oster from Gardening with Doug is just back from Costa Rica, and he's telling us that we can start to plant seeds now.
I was in a
crazy.
store the other day and saw seeds on display.
Okay,
So-
he'll tell us how.
All right, it's next.
101.5 WORD.
With a special Valentine's weekend treat for you.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
It's time to feel the love by sending a dedication or request to your sweetheart.
Yeah, I'm feeling the love.
Call us now at 1-877-349-1015 and dedicate a song to your honey.
To my husband of 10 years now, to my husband of 13 years. Honey, it's been a great 10 years, and I know it'll be a even greater 10 more years.
Then listen for your song and dedication throughout the weekend.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Call 877-349-1015. If you're in the market for metal roofing, siding, and garage doors, Kaufman Metals in Bedford can meet your expectations with friendly professional service. Their equipment is right up to date with the newest technology and ready to produce your standard and customized metal panels and trims to your exact specifications for any project with the fastest turnaround in the industry. Plus, Kaufman Metals offers complete do-it-yourself building packages included with computer-generated drawings. Kaufman Metals also provides sales and service for CHI residential and commercial garage doors. They deliver any order, large or small, to any place with full-service rollback trucks and trailers with a Moffett forklift to set building packages conveniently close to your project. And just so you know, they offer contractors discounts as well. Visit KaufmanMetals.com or call 814-623-6044 or stop in at 6146 Lincoln Highway, Bedford, PA.
If you want to make a difference in your life that impacts you for years to come, then it's time to stand with Israel by going there. Consider the thrilling excitement of joining nationally syndicated media host Dr. Sebastian Gorka and renowned author and filmmaker Dinesh D'Souza on the Stand with Israel tour November 30th through December 9th, 2022. Journey through the Holy Land with two of the most respected political commentators of today. Together with like-minded travelers, you'll see over 40 iconic sites during the 10-day tour. You can pray at the Western Wall in Old City, Jerusalem, float on the Dead Sea, and take a boat out into the middle of the Sea of Galilee. Visit StandWithIsraelTour.com to reserve your spot or call 855-565-5519. Visit StandWithIsraelTour.com or call 855-565-5519 to book today.
Is your congregation confident when it comes to sharing the faith? Most Christians would like to share their faith, but simply don't know how. Lutheran Lay Renewal of America offers a Sharing Your Faith workshop that examines the spiritual and psychological barriers to faith and offers effective ways to open the door to friendly spiritual conversations. Perfect for a Sunday morning Bible class, this 1-hour workshop is offered at no cost to any Christian church. To schedule, call 724-287-5151 or visit LutheranRenewal.com.
Oh, the bleak midwinter. Now's the time to think about planting your garden for spring. Doug Oster is with us. He just flew in from Costa Rica, and boy, are his arms tired. Doug Oster, how you doing, friend?
A joke, it never gets old.
No, it doesn't.
No, it does. But Doug, we're so glad to have you here. First off, I'm guessing that Costa Rica was beautiful.
Costa Rica is a really amazing country, and just so many different regions. There's rainforest and dry forest, and it was amazing, just amazing. I flew into Miami last night though and got stuck in immigration and didn't get home till about 1 in the morning. So John and I were talking yesterday. John, yes, I do have jet lag today, so you were right.
Good. I'm glad that came true, Doug. Okay, so you're with us, though, because seeing the flora and the fauna in Costa Rica, it had to get you excited for what's about to happen in spring, yeah?
Oh, for sure. And, I wanted to talk, if I could, a little bit about seed starting. This is the time to go to your local nursery and find seeds. I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but this is going to be another crazy year. I just got an email today from a seed company, and they, we used to work just one shift, and now they're working 3, and they can't keep up. It's going nuts. So the thing about starting from seed, I know that it might be intimidating for gardeners, like to start some indoor seeds, but the reason we do it is, 1, to save money, but 2, to grow these varieties that you can't get at the nursery. Our nurseries have lots of cool plants, but there's things that we fall in love with or want to try that are different, and it's a good feeling to take something from seed all the way to fruition in one season. It feels good, and the plants that you're growing, that you're taking care of yourself, you're going to be able to spend that time really making sure that they're going to be perfect. And so I grow lots of things from seed. I love growing from seed. So we go out, we get some good seeds from our nursery, something to put our seeds in, which is called a planting mix. You don't want to use potting soil or even garden soil. You want to use what they call a planting mix. You mix it up with water first, put it into any container that has drainage. You just sprinkle seeds on it. You cover it with clear plastic. The seeds sprout, and here's where people usually fail. They don't have a good light source. So nowadays, you can get a cheap LED light that will keep those plants growing strong. What will happen is when people do sprout them, and they don't have a good light source, and it's on the windowsill, the plants get tall and spindly and kind of fall over, and people think like, gosh, what did I do wrong? You didn't do anything wrong except you didn't have that strong light source. And so just getting a little system, and it's not that complicated. LED is bright and very inexpensive to run, and I think people would really enjoy doing this. In fact, I know people really enjoy doing it, but taking that leap of faith to start something indoors that you're going to put out in your garden, that first time can be a little scary, and it's a little early to start, for tomatoes, peppers, things like that. So this is the time to go collect everything you need, research it a little bit, and give it a try.
Really? Okay, so say you had the LED light, your planting mix, your seeds, and you were just waiting for the calendar to click into gear. When would that be, Doug? When would the idea, okay, this is my first day of planting seeds?
Again, it depends on what you're going to plant. We can get away right now with planting really small seeds like begonias and petunias and impatiens. That's a little bit more complex, but for some of us that just have to have something growing, this is what we do. But for your basics, your tomatoes, your peppers, things like that. You're waiting about another month to get them going. But you could get away with some cool weather crops at the very first part of March in just 2 weeks. Get some lettuce started. Get some any kind of greens like that, spinach, that sort of thing. Get that going, arugula, and it'll be ready to go out. Pretty quickly. Those plants can take cold weather. You can get those out at the end of March, whereas the tomatoes and the peppers, we wait until there's no frost at all. And so, again, it's you're growing something. I guess when we first start gardening, we're just glad when something lives.
Yeah,
you're right.
Right.
After that, it's like, I want to grow something different. And so in the case of like something easy like lettuce, there's hundreds of different types of lettuce. One called Amish deer tongue. Now, I don't know what a deer tongue looks like, but the lettuce is tasty. So there's just a million different varieties that you can have fun with and grow something a little bit different. And for the most part, growing from seed is much simpler than you might think. You should just jump into it and do it. And I've been doing it for forever, since the beginning of time, and it's part of my gardening tradition, getting all these seeds ready right now. In fact, I got a couple deliveries of seeds just the last couple days, and it's just so exciting to look through them. And I pull some of the stuff aside, like beans. Those will be planted actually in the garden when we get into that middle of May. But these other ones I can plant indoors with some lights and have something to care for, have something to smell, have something to anticipate for our planting season.
Fabulous.
That's Doug Oster, editor of Gardening with Doug at DougOster.com. Doug, a couple particulars about what you just said. Any LED light, or does it have to be a plant light?
It doesn't have to be specifically any kind of a colored plant light. Like that there's a spectrum for growing plants, but that's only for flowering plants. So for any of the stuff that we're planting, it's not going to have time to flower. So you would want an LED light from your garden center, one that you know is going to be bright enough, because there's many different types of LED lights. Even hardware stores have them. Just a little setup where, depending on how big you want to go, it's inexpensive and as I said, gives you the bright light that you need to keep those plants nice and stocky.
All right, and then what about, you said you can plant them in anything that has drainage. Well, what kinds of things are we talking about?
I save like all the little 6-packs from last year's flowers.
Got it.
But you could use yogurt containers if you drilled some holes in the bottom. You could use. The thing about it is you want enough of that mix in there so you don't have to be watering every day. And so some people will say, well, I'll just use egg containers, but they're a little small, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you got to water them every day. So with a bigger 6-pack that the flowers came in, I can get away with watering it, twice a week, once a week, depending on the conditions of how warm it is. And so, yeah, it needs drainage, though. You can't have that just wet, soaking soil there.
I see. Hey, Doug, I have a memory of our neighbor from the first house that we bought. And our neighbor, and I correct me if I'm wrong, but I always remember, like late winter, early spring, every year, our neighbor would show up with a big bundle of asparagus. And he said something to the effect of, that asparagus came in super early. Is that true?
Oh, yeah, and that is one of the greatest garden treasures. And so asparagus is planted as a perennial. And so you take the roots you buy the roots, and if you're going to do this, buy the oldest roots you can. There's 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. The biggest ones are more expensive, but you get to harvest the asparagus sooner. And so, yes, it's been put into the soil. It's been growing there for years. The thing about an asparagus bed, it will outlive the gardener. And then, yes, early in the season, we say like anything from the garden is going to be better than the store, but asparagus especially so. I'm not kidding you that you can go out in the garden and just snip asparagus and eat it raw, where you wouldn't really eat it raw from the store, but it's so tender and so flavorful. And when you get a good bed going after it's established a couple years, it will go for a long period of time. And as you see from your neighbor, you'll have more than you could possibly use.
Fabulous.
And does it just, can it be harvested one time per season?
No, once the bed gets going, it'll make shoots that will come up periodically but it's basically a spring crop. You get to a certain point where you let that plant just keep growing, and what that asparagus spear turns into is like an 8-foot tall fern type thing, and that's what puts energy back into the roots to get our harvest for next year.
I see. So, Doug, here we are. It's mid-February. Are you kind of, sitting by your front door sometime and looking out? Of course, you're just back from Costa Rica, but, chomping at the bit so that early seed thing sort of puts you in the mood and over the hump. But, you got to be really ready to go and wishing that you could go out in the garden right now. Are you doing anything at all in the garden? This is a great project, actually. So let's say you don't want to set up a light system. You don't want to be growing your plants inside. You don't have space inside. You can literally take an old milk jug and just cut a hole in the side, leave the top on, fill it up and drill some holes in the bottom, fill it up with a little planting mix that's wet, and sow some seeds in there. And believe it or not, even in the middle of winter like this, leave it outside in a protected spot, and they will sprout when they're ready. This is becoming a big thing now. People have been doing it for years, but it's just become popular through social media and such. And so whatever it is, spinach, lettuce, tomatoes, peppers, you put them in there, and what you're doing is you're emulating what nature would do. When it drops a pepper on the ground, that seed would sit there all year, and the next spring, when the conditions are right, it sprouts. And so it's a very easy way, and it gives you a project for yourself, kids, grandkids, to get something going with gardening. And that's one of the things that I'll be doing this weekend, actually, is getting some of that stuff going. And it's always fun to see how soon it sprouts. If you did something like lettuce, arugula, anything that loves cold weather like that, they'll sprout pretty early. And once they do sprout, they know when it's time. They know when the right time is to sprout, and there's nothing that will stop them after that. And then you just take them out of that milk jug and start planting them in the garden, and we're off to the races. I love it.
Wow. Okay, so I could invite you over, Doug, to for salad. Freshly harvested salad by what, middle of April?
Definitely. I won't tell the whole story, but once I was sitting at a newsroom meeting at the Post-Gazette, and somebody was talking about the weather and gardening and this and that, and I just said, I'm already picking spinach, and the managing editor said, that's impossible. And then I went into about a 15-minute diatribe about how I did it, which everybody in the meeting was like, when is this guy going to shut up?
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Put the editor in his place, Doug.
In her place.
Oh, fabulous.
Wow, whole different thing.
Excellent.
All right, Doug. Okay, so just last minute, we only have a couple minutes left, but anything else that we could be doing now to prepare for spring planting? Because what happens to me in particular, I think I've shared this with you before, is that it turns into May 1st, and I feel like I have to do everything. And then I don't really have time because, things are busy at work and all of that. And then I'm panicked because I feel like I have to have everything planted by Memorial Day. And every year I think I should have started this earlier, but then I don't know really how to do that because I'm buying stuff from the nursery.
So first off, don't get wrapped up into all those artificial timelines. You get your garden in when you get it in. Yes, we'd love to have it in by Memorial Day, but there are some advantages to some plants even putting in later. But what you can do now to try and avoid that crunch time is adding compost to the soil now, to your beds now, especially once the ground freezes solid again, and it will. And, right now it's pretty mushy out there. But when it gets cold again, you can take a wheelbarrow or bags of compost onto where your beds are and just throw them on top, maybe throw a little bit of straw on top to keep it in place. Now, you have improved the soil. That's like instant planting place where you're not going to have to turn it over or anything. You'll have a couple beds there ready to go, and you can get started early there, get started quicker, and it's one less job to do when we get to, like you said, May 1st.
Fabulous.
That's good. Now, Doug, we were just on your website here, DougOster.com, and we see that not only are you just back from Costa Rica, but in May, you're going to be going to the Chelsea Flower Show and Gardens of England, and you're going to be going to Holland as well. What?
That's a good life, Doug.
This is just something I've been doing for years now, and The Chelsea Flower Show is the Super Bowl of flower shows, but this other thing I'm going to in Holland, it's part of the same trip. It's called Floriade. It only happens every 10 years.
Wow.
It's 143 acres of garden celebrations. It's amazing. So by the next time it comes up, I would be 72 years old. I think I'm going to have a better time there walking around at 62 than I would at 72, and I can't wait. And actually, it's very close to being sold out because people want to go.
That's so cool.
Doug, that's fantastic.
You're going to see the world with the flora and the fauna, Doug. What a nice thing.
I feel very lucky and to see all these places. And as I said, in England, everybody gardens, and every house that you stop by, there'll be something growing there that you won't even know what it is. And that's from a guy who loves to garden.
Wow, that's cool. Doug, it's always a pleasure. Thanks for the update and for infusing some energy for those of us who want to get out there and garden.
Let's get going.
Fabulous. DougOster.com online. And Doug's got a terrific website. There's so much going on there. If you love to garden, if you're not even a gardener, you just love plants, check him out. DougOster.com online. Coming up next, this or that.
Cash Call Mortgage is a DBA of Impact Mortgage Corp. NMLS ID 128231. Not all applicants will qualify. Equal housing lender. Licensed by California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation. Residential Mortgage Lending Act license number 4131083. Not licensed in all states, including New York. Call 855-657-9910 for licensing terms and restrictions. Or visit cashcallmortgage.com.
Are you being denied a home loan or refi because you're a 1099 employee, self-employed, or a real estate investor? It can be frustrating, but it doesn't have to be, thanks to Cash Call Mortgage. At Cash Call Mortgage, we'll take the time to understand you and your income flow. Using 1099 income, rental income, and bank statements, you could qualify for a home mortgage or refi at a lower rate. So if you're being turned down for a home loan or refi because you're self-employed, a 1099 earner, or a real estate investor, instead of hearing denied, you could be hearing approved. To see if you qualify, visit cashcallmortgage.com or call now 800-931-6651. That's 800-931-6651. 800-931-6651.
Mike Lindell has a passion to help everyone get the best sleep of your life. He created the Giza Dream Bed Sheets. They look and feel great, which means an even better night's sleep for you. Hey, this is John Hall. Mike found the world's best cotton called Giza, and his latest incredible deal is the sale of the year. For a limited time, you'll receive 60% off the Giza Dream Sheets that come with a 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. You'll receive a set for as low as $39.99, and for a limited time with any purchase, you'll receive Mike's softcover book free when you use promo code WORD. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener square, and use promo code WORD. Along with this offer, you'll also get deep discounts on all MyPillow products, including the MyPillow mattress topper, MyPillow towel sets, and so much more. Call 1-800-391-0954. Use the promo code WORD, or visit MyPillow.com. Use the promo code WORD.
McQueen Building Company. It's about our people, but it's what others say about us that we really want you to hear.
It was a pleasure working with McQueen. Everything we agreed on in the contract was done and done to my satisfaction. I'll certainly have them for any future projects and have recommended them to friends.
Jeff works hard, is committed to success, and willing to go above and beyond in his zeal for the best outcome. I highly recommend Jeff, his work ethic, and his commitment to excellence.
McQueen Building Company. See our work for yourself at McQueenBuildingCompany.com.
Your life, your hopes, and whatever you were searching for at 1:15 a.m. It's really none of our business, and it shouldn't be anyone else's. Protect your privacy online for free with DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
101.5 WORD FM Pittsburgh. On your smart speaker by saying, play the word Pittsburgh. And on your phone via the Word FM mobile app, iHeart, TuneIn, and Odyssey.
Considerable cloudiness expected for tonight. It will be breezy with occasional rain and drizzle this evening. That'll be followed by a passing shower late tonight, the low 35. Cloudy and breezy tomorrow with a bit of snow. Little to no accumulation expected with a high of 37. Sunday, low clouds, maybe some sunshine. It'll become very cold Sunday. We'll reach a high of 24. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm forecaster Drew Shannon.